Yo, what is up, you guys? It's Dominator here, and I am back with another episode of Pokemon Go. Finally, it's been a while. This is gonna be a tutorial video, sort of a tutorial video, more like a tips and tricks video. Wow, I can speak. Anyway, this will be a video showing how to choose the best moveset for your Pokemon. Now, there's different preferences. Like, you could do a moveset that you like more as opposed to a moveset that everyone says is better. Also, you can do stuff like types, based on how much damage or how much DPS you want to deal off. There's different ways to choose your moveset, and I just wanted to give a little tutorial on how to choose the true best moveset. So, wow, this Weedle sucks. I'm catching a Weedle right now. I'm just gonna throw a great ball. I need to stock up on items before I go camping. But yeah, ever since the introduction of TMs, it's you really want to, oh my gosh, what the heck? I'd say this thing's a Ditto, but it's not, just because it's a Weedle. But yeah, so with the introduction of TMs, you can change the moveset, and you want to choose generally a good moveset. So let me show where I'm explaining. Sometimes the Sylph Road gets the best movesets wrong. Perfect example is Venusaur right here. So let me go over to Venusaur, and it says its best quick move is Razor Leaf with 16.3 DPS, which that's for the most part true. But I personally like Vine Whip just because it fires off it faster, even though it's technically not as good. It's only got a power of 7, but with stab and with super effectiveness, it's not that much of a difference because this fires up a lot faster. But obviously you can tell there's only like a 2-point difference. But what you want to take into account is this right here, is the amount it charges up your charge move per attack. So with Razor Leaf, it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 attacks, each at 1 second per attack. So let me go over to a calculator really quick and show you. So actually we can figure this out. So 1 times, what did I say it was? Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it takes 14 seconds to charge up your charge moves completely. Now let's check this one. So this one takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we do 17 times 6 equals 102. So, oh shoot, hold on. 17, I'm screwing up, times 600 milliseconds is, so it is 10 seconds. It takes 10 seconds to charge up the 10.2 seconds to charge up your charge move with Vine Whip, when it takes 14 seconds to charge up your move with Razor Leaf. So you got to keep that into account. If you really want to use a good charge move, you want to generally either you can pick the move with the highest DPS, which in this case they're not much different, but you want to take into account what move charges up your charge move faster, and that in this case is Vine Whip. And that is why I like Vine Whip more. It's so easy to fire off solar beams with Vine Whip, and that's a good example. So just like, look at this, you can do it. You don't have to do the math. Like, sometimes I choose Razor Leaf just because it's powerful, but let me show you my perfect IV Venusaur. I can transfer this guy out, but I have a perfect IV Venusaur. So you go to CP right here, grocery store. He's almost maxed out. I just leveled up so I can power him up more, but he's got Vine Whip and Solar Beam. And now when I evolved to him, it had Vine Whip and Sludge Bomb, and I wanted Solar Beam just because I want to have that power of grass type move. Like, when it comes to poison type Pokemon, I have a perfect IV Muck that I'm probably going to use for, and then there's other ones like Nidoking, Nidoqueen. So there's definitely other options for poison types, but when it comes to grass types, the best grass types are generally Venusaur and Exeggutor. So I am choosing Venusaur because I just like Venusaur a lot, and it gets Vine Whip and Solar Beam, which are really good grass attacks. Moving on, to the charge moves. Now this is a highly debated thing. So it shows the DPS right here, it lists them from best to worst, and it shows okay, so this is the best DPS move, and hey, there's a Hitmonlee in Brighton, that's kind of cool. Anyway, I have my tracker right there, but it has Petal Blizzard, which does 110 damage. You can factor in stab. I'm not entirely sure what stab is at this point, but it says 52.9 DPS. Now that's really good for DPS, but keep in mind, DPS really only matters for the fast moves, because that's how fast, that's how much damage per second you are dealing. With charge moves, you can only fire these off every 10 to 14 seconds, as we've seen here. So you can't base off the value of the move based on its DPS for charge moves. That's why, in my opinion, personally, I think Petal Blizzard is the worst of the charge moves, because it only does 110 damage. It's definitely a lot faster than Solar Beam, but Solar Beam is just so much power, and to factor in stab and super effectiveness, it is really good. Solar Beam's my favorite move, and then Sludge Bomb. It has a base power of 80, and it fires off twice, which means it's got a base power of 160, and that is way better than 110. I used Petal Blizzard on, I think a Rhydon, which is the double effectiveness, and it hardly did anything, and it was so disappointing. I was like, okay, Petal Blizzard is not good at all. It's just not good. It's so weak. But Solar Beam is really good. Solar Beam does a ton more damage, almost twice as much damage as Petal Blizzard. And then Sludge Bomb factored in with the double attack. If you charge it up once, if you charge up the full bar, you can fire it off twice, making it a base power of 160, making it way better. And it only takes 2.3 seconds to fire off a Sludge Bomb, as you can see here, when it takes 2.6 seconds to fire off a Petal Blizzard. So Petal Blizzard is technically the worst move if you're factoring in this, but and Sludge Bomb is one of the best. If you want a poison type Venusaur, Sludge Bomb is the best move to have. But I personally wanted the grass type, and in my opinion, Solar Beam is better than Petal Blizzard. So hopefully you guys understand what I'm getting at here. It's kind of hard to explain, but yes, so Sludge Bomb is really good. I actually have a Venusaur with Sludge Bomb, and it's so good. It even takes out Vaporeons really well, even though it's not super effective. But Sludge Bomb is just so good. Petal Blizzard is, in my opinion, a really bad move. It's not good at all. So keep that in mind. I can't tell you how many times I see big YouTubers like Mystic7 specifically. Sorry to throw you under the boat or anything, but he says he'll check the moveset and be like, oh, that's the best moveset, when in reality it's not. It just has the highest DPS. So you really got to keep that in mind. So let's see any other examples. What's another good Pokemon? Let's see. I could essentially check any Pokemon. Let's go Slowking, because I know Slowking gets some good moves, or some interesting moves. So it gets Confusion and Water Gun, and Confusion takes 1.6 seconds to fire off. Water Gun takes 0.5 seconds to power off. Power off. So there's not much difference of DPS, but then Confusion takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to charge, and Water Gun takes a whole lot more to charge off. Plus Confusion is a lot better. It's got stab. Now, Water Gun isn't always the best moveset to choose. And then, when it comes to this, Psychic, you can factor in... I'm not going to factor in stab right now, because it's... I don't even know how much stab is anymore. I don't think this is correct, because they did change it not that long ago. But, Blizzard does 130 damage, and Psychic does 100. But Psychic has the stab, which probably boosts it a little bit. Fire Blast does 140, so Fire Blast has the highest damage output, but Fire Blast takes way slower to fire off than Psychic, and it's hard to dodge moves when you're doing the really slow attack. In my opinion, I don't think Fire Blast is that good of a move. If I were to go for fire type moves, it'd be like Overheat, was it Heat Wave? So, and obviously Slowking is not fire type, so you don't get the stab bonus. So, in my opinion on this, I think Psychic is the best move just because of the stab bonus. You want, like, Psychic type moves on a Psychic Pokemon. If you were to get a Blizzard, like, Blizzard's not terrible, but I would rather have a Blizzard on, like, a Lapras or whatever Ice type Pokemon get Blizzard, because it's way better. So, in my opinion, I think Confusion and Psychic would be the best moveset for him. That one actually isn't really a good example because it lists it as the best moveset anyway. Let's go into Machamp. Machamp is a really good Pokemon right now because of raids. It takes out Snorlaxes, Tyranitar's. Machamp was already better, like, was already one of my favorite Pokemon before the raid system because it took out Blissey's and Snorlaxes really easily. But, anyway, so, Legacy move, Karate Chop. If you have this, it's not terrible, but Counter is way better. Counter is the best quick move by far because Bullet Punch is not strong at all. It's so weak. Counter does way more damage and it fires it off at the same time. Now the only saving grace for Bullet Punch is that it charges your charge move faster. But honestly, it's not worth it in my opinion. Counter is way better. Close Combat does 100 damage plus type bonus. Dynamic Punch. Stone Edge, we don't even want to deal with that because of Legacy. We're gonna take out Legacy moves for now. Dynamic Punch does a base of 90 twice and is only a little faster than Close Combat. So, I have a Close Combat Machamp, but do I want to use a TM to change it to Dynamic Punch? Because Dynamic Punch's base power, if you fire it off twice, is 180, which is way stronger than Close Combat. But it takes a little slower to fire off. In my opinion, I would wait to get another Machamp because I have one with counter close combat and that's fine. It's not bad. Like, obviously, if you have Heavy Slam, you want to get rid of that. Heavy Slam is not a good move for Machamp at all. Like, the Steel type moves, you can just disregard those. But, yeah, Dynamic Punch is definitely really good. You also get Dynamic Punch on Poliwrath, which is really good. I haven't used a Poliwrath yet. I've been using my Machamp with close combat. I didn't realize how good Dynamic Punch was, actually. I didn't think it was a base power of 90. But, yeah, that's a really good move. So, generally, you want Dynamic Punch. If you have close combat, honestly, I would keep it. I would wait to do another Machamp raid, get another good IV Machamp, power it up. As long as you don't have, if you have Heavy Slam, I would obviously change the charge move. And if you have Bullet Punch, I'd change the fast move. But when it comes to if you have close combat, I would be maybe if, like, you have a bunch of charge TMs to waste. But, yeah, Dynamic Punch is definitely the best moveset, even though it's listed 2 under, even though this is a Legacy move. But you can still get that. You can still have a Machamp with that if it's an old Machamp. So, yeah, Dynamic Punch is definitely the best, even though Silph Road does not list it as the best at all. So, that's what I'm trying to get at. So, you can always look at this. This is the Silph Road. Check out the Pokemon. Do the math. It's not that hard. Let me show some of my Pokemon. Yeah, I have my John Cena. He's got counter close combat. I use him all the time. It's so good. It's a 93%. If I get a 95% or a 90, because I have a couple 93% Machops. If I get like a 95%, 98, 100, I would definitely give it Dynamic Punch because I have one that's got close combat already. So that's about it. One more example would be my Godzilla Tyranitar. It's a 98%. It had Iron Tail and Fire Blast, which is by far the worst moveset. Bite and Crunch is technically the best, because Crunch fires off 3 times at a base power 70, which makes it 210 base power. It's a little slow. Stone Edge is really fast, but Stone Edge is only a power of 100. That being said, I probably won't change this moveset just because I don't want to get Fire Blast again, and I don't have any charge TMs. But I think Stone Edge is fine. I think it's good. I would rather have Crunch because I have Stone Edge on a Golem, and my Golem's also a 98%, so it's iffy. If I get more charge TMs, I'll probably change it to Crunch, just because I want a good Dark attacker as opposed to Rock, just because, and you can see my thing right there, I'm just highlighting over. Because he's a Dark attacker, too, and there's not really any good Dark attackers in the game, except for Tyranitar. So Crunch would be a good move to have. Obviously, Iron Tail Fire Blast is just not good at all for Tyranitar. But yeah, that's just what I wanted to get at when it comes to checking your movesets of your Pokemon. So that's it. Hopefully this is very helpful for you guys to check the movesets instead of just going by straight DPS. You can go by how much the fast moves charge your charge move and how much power the charge move does in a little time. So yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure you like for more Pokemon Go videos. I have other plans with Pokemon Go in the future, so yep, like I said, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.